Well, good morning and welcome to day 20 of the Bible Memory Challenge. This is the end of our fourth week. It's a Friday, so happy Friday to you. Today's verse is a challenging verse. I'll just go and tell you that up front. So it's good that it's on Friday. That way you can work on it a little bit today and maybe over the weekend kind of brush up on a little bit and make sure you have it down. But it's not too bad. It's just kind of long. So hopefully with a little bit of work, you'll get it okay. But as always, go back and do your memory work. Hopefully yesterday's verse wasn't too bad for you. There are a couple of little things I think I mentioned yesterday that were helpful to me. Hopefully those little tips might have helped you as well. But anyway, do your memory work and then look at today's verse. Let's go and look at it now. It's verse 20. So 120, and it's continuing from verse 19. So 120, as it is my eager expectation and hope that I will not be at all ashamed, but that with full courage now, as always, Christ will be honored in my body, whether by life or by death. So that's a pretty long verse, kind of wordy there. So you'll have to work on this a little bit. Let's do it again. 120, as it is my eager expectation and hope that I will not be at all ashamed, but that with full courage now, as always, Christ will be honored in my body, whether by life or by death. So there's a lot of little words there that may throw you off. So that's where, once again, that little Bible memory app I think will help you. Eventually, I wouldn't start there. I would do our normal, read it slowly 10 times, then try to do it from memory, but then go back and use the memory app to sort of solidify it. And also, this is one I would listen to over and over, so you can kind of hear it, get the repetition, get the cadence of that verse. And eventually, you'll be fine with it. Want to address something I saw on Facebook yesterday. A couple people mentioned that had given them trouble, and that is how you keep the order of Jesus Christ versus Christ Jesus. And yeah, that's something that I think we all struggle with. I know I've struggled with it myself, and I guess I'll give you two pieces of advice that maybe have helped to you. One is this is when you have verses like that, when you listen to the verse over and over and over, eventually what will happen is, because you've heard it so many times, if you try to say it and you say it in the wrong order, if it should be Jesus Christ and you say Christ Jesus, it'll just feel wrong because you've heard it so many times and you'll just say, oh, no, that doesn't even sound right. So one way is to use the sense of hearing. I think that will help you. And then something else, we've not talked about a whole lot. We talked about some of the pictures, I know, but the other idea is this idea of mnemonics. And that's sort of a memory technique that a lot of magicians use, mentalists use, public speakers use, and I use it myself in another application, which I'm going to talk about later on as we get a little bit further down the road. But you can use that here, and here's what you would do. One way to possibly do this. So you have Jesus Christ or Christ Jesus. Well, you could just take those letters and look at the initials. Well, JC. All right, who is somebody famous that has the initials JC? And there's a lot of people that have those initials. You could do something like James Corden, Johnny Cash. I think would be a very good one. Johnny Cash, because his face is so memorable with the dark hair and the big sideburns and all that. So maybe think of Johnny Cash. And so then when you come to a verse which has the Jesus Christ, maybe somehow put Johnny Cash in there. Let me see if I can find one for us real quick. Let's see, yesterday we saw the Spirit of Jesus Christ. I've already showed you how I use my little thing with the little spirit, so let's not use that one. Over in verse 11 says filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ. So how am I going to remember it's the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ and not Christ Jesus? Well, what I would do then is I would use this idea of mnemonics. I would picture Johnny Cash, and it says the fruit of righteousness. I would just look at that word fruit, and now maybe try to visualize Johnny Cash carrying a big old basket of fruit. I know that sounds strange, but as soon as you see that word fruit, if you've thought that picture over a few times, as soon as you see the word fruit, you'll visualize Johnny Cash carrying this fruit. And so you'll know it's JC. If it was Christ Jesus, well, then you can use the initials CJ. I don't know as many CJs. One name I wrote down was like Chipper Jones. He's a famous baseball player. So maybe someone has the initials CJ, or just the name CJ. You just call somebody CJ. And once again, you would visualize them, try to put them into the story. Once again, I know that sounds awkward, sounds a little strange, But that's what makes it work. That's what makes it stick. And eventually, you'll know it. You won't have to use those pictures anymore. Those pictures will disappear. All these pictures that we're drawing, eventually, those are sort of steps kind of help us to get through the verse initially. But eventually, you won't even use those pictures. You'll just know it. But anyway, I hope that's a helpful tip to you. You guys just hang in there, work on this verse, do a little review this weekend. Let the brain relax over the next couple of days, and then next week we'll be starting week 5, and a very easy, simple, but amazingly powerful verse, verse 21, that we'll look at on Monday morning. All right, God bless you guys. Have a good weekend.